Hey guys, here in today's session, I will take you through VPC. So VPC stands for Virtual Private Cloud. So that's what the place where we can isolate all our resources. So for most of the use cases, we required one public subnet and one private subnet within one VPC. So you can launch all publicly accessible resource in public subnet like web server, application server, and all your databases you can launch in private subnets where there is no direct option to connect to those instances. So if you want to connect to those instances, you need to depend on jump servers or bastion host, or you can connect to any of the public subnet first. From that instance you can connect to private subnet. So here VPC, and here you can go and start VPC wizard, but I will not prefer that option. I'm going to create each and every component manually. So select one VPC, click on create VPC, give a name for this VPC. I'm going to name this as custom VPC. And what is a CIDR block you want to use? Classless interdomain routing. So I want to use class C IP address range and subnet is 16. So we cannot specify any of the subnet more than 16 here with Amazon VPC. And tenancy, I'm going to choose default. Click on create. Then navigate to subnets and create two subnets. So I already have these two subnets, but those two are my default VPC's default subnets. Let me click on create subnet, but make sure you select this custom VPC. And I'm going to use 192.168.100.0/24. Here subnets must be between /16 to /28. And I'm going to choose my custom VPC, and I'm going to make EP South 1A as my public VPC. Okay, this is going to be name tag. Apologies for that one. Public subnet, and here is a CIDR block. Then click on yes, create. Then click on create subnet. So I'm going to create a private subnet now under custom VPC, and I'm going to make AP South 1B. Then I'm going to give a CIDR 192.168.200.0/24. That means whatever the instance I'm going to launch into AP South 1B, I'm going to get a IP address as 192.168.200.1, 200.2, and so on till 255. Okay, then I'm going to click on S create. There I have created two subnets. Now I require one internet gateway for my VPC. Then I'm going to click on internet gateway, click on create internet gateway, give a name for this internet gateway. So I'm going to name this as my IZW, my internet gateway. Click on create, and one internet gateway we can attach to one VPC at a time. There you can see I have two VPCs. One is default VPC and second one is custom VPC. So this is in detached state. When you go to actions and when you click on attach to VPC, when you click here, it is showing us only one VPC. So I'm going to select that, click on attach. Now we have created internet gateway and we have attached to our custom VPC. Now we need to edit the root tables. Select the root tables. So we already have a custom VPC's main root table. So I'm not going to edit that. I'm going to create a new root table. Click on create root table, give a name. So my custom root. Then create this under your custom VPC. Click on S create. One root table got created here. Then navigate to subnet association. So which subnet you want to associate with this root table? So I want to associate public subnet here. Then click on save. Then what is the traffic you want to allow and from what device you want to allow, you can define under this routes. Click on edit, add another route. Give that I want to allow all the traffic. So I'm going to give 0.0.0.0/0 through internet gateway to my public subnet. So that's it. We have created our custom VPC. So if you want to automatically allocate a public IP address for all your public subnet instances, so you can navigate to subnets, choose at public subnet, go to subnet actions, click on modify auto assign IP settings, select this option, enable auto assign IP public v4 IPv4 address and click on save. That's it, our VPC is created. So now whatever the instance you are going to launch into this public subnet, we are going to get a public IP address. By using that public IP address, you can log into that instance, and this private subnet, it is not going to be an internet phased one. It is not going to be an internet phased one. So there is no direct option to connect to that instance. So you can use this public subnet instance to connect to this private subnet instance. Okay, so again, we are not going to get any of the internet connectivity in this private subnet. So you can start installing databases and all in this private subnet instance. And by defaultly, these two are going to have communication. But there is no direct option to hit these private subnet instances. Let me quickly launch a couple of instances, and one is in public subnet and another one is private subnet. I don't have any running instances, free tier only. Scroll down, Windows Server 2012 R2 base, T2 micro, and I'm going to select this custom VPC, and I'm going to launch this in public subnet, add storage 30 gigs, and I'm going to name this as my web server. So I'm going to launch in public subnet, so I'm going to name this as web server, then configure security groups. I'm going to choose an existing security group, but there is no other security groups other than the default security groups. The reason is all the security groups exist within your VPC. Click on create new security group and RDP 3389. Then I'm going to connect only from my network. Click on review and launch. Then launch, I'm going to use a key pair to connect to the instance. There it is. One instance is launched in public subnet, but I did not get this public DNS. There you can see for all the instances, generally when you launch, you are going to get this public DNS. So if you want to get that public DNS, navigate to VPC, select your VPC, go to actions, click on edit DNS host names. By default, it is set to no. Click on yes, then click on save. Then come back here, give a quick refresh. There you can see we got the public DNS. Okay, so now let me connect to this instance. So I required to get the password by browsing that PEM file. So as is the Windows machine, we have to wait for 3 to 4 minutes. Meanwhile, I'm going to launch one instance in private subnet. So make sure you select that free tier only. Scroll down, Windows Server 2012 R2 base, T2 micro, and the custom VPC and private subnet. There you can see RDOS and public IP address is set to disable. Even though if you allocate any of the public IP address, there is no option to connect to that instance directly. So I'm going to add 30 gigs, add a name tag, and here you can give a name tag as, so let me name this as database server. Then configure security groups, so I can use an existing security group, review and launch using a key pair, then click on view instances. So let me connect to this web server. There the password to retrieve it is available. Then decrypt the password. So here is a public DNS. Let me copy. Then MSTSC. Give that public DNS. Default username is administrator. And let me grab that generated password. Paste it here. Click on OK and give yes. There it is. We are able to connect to this machine without any issues. So now let me try to get a password for this database server and let me try to connect, and you can observe for my web server I got an IP address range in 100 dot. So for my database server it is 200, so it is in the specified range. So here if you try to access the internet connectivity, you can access without any issues. Why? Because all the internet you are going to get through internet gateway. Now let me connect to this database. So let me get Windows password, then Linux kp.pam, decrypt the password. There you can see it is a 192.168.200.193. I know this is not going to be work. Why? Because that's a private IP address. But let me give a try. So I'm trying to connect to that instance. There you can see then how to connect to this instance. Generally, we are going to use Bastion host or Gem servers to connect to this instance. So I'm going to use this public subnet hosted instance to connect to private subnet hosted instance. So let me take remote desktop connectivity within this public subnet instance. There you can see it's trying to connect. It's taking long time. Oh, it's giving some error. Make sure you edit the security groups. So let me set it anywhere from the world. That's the reason I'm not able to connect. There you can see it is asking me to connect. So my default username is administrator. Then let me get the password. So 90% of the issues is going to be resolved by security groups only. There you can see now I'm able to connect. So I have taken remote connectivity from my public subnet instance. There you can see it is loading and I'm able to connect. That means they both have internal communication. They both have internal communication, but when I'm trying to connect from outside world to private subnet instance, there is no direct option to connect to that instance. And you're not going to get internet connectivity also. So if you want to get internet connectivity in this private subnet hosted instance, you need to depend on NAT Instance or NAT Gateway. So we have two options. So we will see that NAT Gateway option now. So let me try to browse internet connectivity, but before that let me disable this IEESC. Okay, let me turn this off. Now let me open the browser. Let me try to access. Let me give google.com here. There you can see it's waiting for google.com. It's waiting for google.com and it's going to be failed. So there is no particular route is defined to provide internet connectivity for all these private subnet instances. So now let me provision NAT instance. So select launch instance. So here navigate to community AMIs and look for NAT. There you can see Amazon AMI VPC NAT. So I'm going to choose the first one and I'm going to use a T2 micro, then configure instance details. And this NAT instance must be your custom VPC's public subnet. Then click on add storage 8 gigs So I'm going to add a tag. So I'm going to name this as NAT Instance. Then configure security groups. So whatever the security group you are going to use, it must allow HTTP and HTTPS ports. Why? Because this is the machine it's going to provide internet connectivity to all your private subnet hosted instances. So you must allow HTTP and HTTPS. So I'm going to create a new security group. So NAT SZ, then SSH. I really don't require. I'm not going to connect to that machine anyhow. Then HTTP and HTTPS. I'm going to allow all the traffic anywhere from the world and click on review and launch. That's fine. Go with SSTs. Then I'm going to use one key pair and launch the instance. Now, for NAT instance is provisioned and you have to perform one additional step to work this correctly. So you need to disable source or destination check. If you won't disable this instance is going to behave either source or destination when a new request is generated or arrived to this particular instance. So it should not act in that way. It should allow all the traffic in and out. So navigate to actions. Under networking, you can find this chain source or destination check. By default, it is enabled. Now I'm going to disable this. Then only this is going to be work fine. So now our NAT instance is deployed in custom VPC's public subnet. Now go to VPCs, navigate to root table and edit your custom VPC's main root table. Navigate to routes, click on edit and add another route. So I'm going to allow all the traffic through this NAT gateway. When you click here, you should get that NAT instance. I'm going to select the NAT instance, click on save. That's it. You are going to get internet connectivity for your private hosted instance. But again, you are just going to get internet connectivity. So this is the previous one. There you can see I'm able to get internet connection in all my private subnet instances. And if you look for my IP here, I just given my IP. There you can see 251.141. That is nothing but my NAT instance public IP address. So whatever the instance you are going to launch in your private subnet, now that is going to get internet from this NAT instance. So exactly with this NAT instance, we have NAT Gateway. So that's a straightforward step. Now navigate to actions, click on terminate. So now I've terminated NAT instance here, and there you can see I just refreshed. There you can see it's waiting for google.com. That means internet is gone. So now I will show you NAT Gateway. So here, scroll down here, you can find NAT Gateway. Click on create NAT Gateway. So again, you need to create this NAT Gateway in your custom VPC's public subnet, and you require an elastic IP address. If you don't have any elastic IP addresses, click on create new elastic IP address. One new elastic IP address is generated, and click on create a NAT Gateway. So you must edit your root tables to take this effect. So click on edit root tables. Then I'm going to edit my custom VPC's main root table. The previous one, it is black hole. That means whatever the traffic is generating from that private subnet instances, it is going to dead. Why? Because there is no proper destination. Then /0, when you click here, it is displaying my NAT gateway. Select this, click on save. That's it. But again, this NAT gateway is going to take a couple of minutes to create. Now it is in pending state. So you need to get it as deployed. Then you will get internet connectivity. The advantage with this NAT gateway is you don't need to provision any of the instances. You don't need to take care about security groups. And you don't need to disable source or destination checks. So if you're not able to get good internet connectivity, if you choose NAT instance, you have to increase that underlying instance configuration. But here NAT gateway, so you don't need to. Let me give a refresh. Still it is as pending. There you can see it is available now. So now let me verify the same here. There you can see I'm able to get, and this is a elastic IP address. So you are going to provide internet connectivity, so you can start downloading any of the application. You can apply operating system patches, your database patches without depending on any of the servers. But again, this is not going to be an internet facing one. So it's going to be a secured method to host your database servers. So that is a basic VPC creation. So in our next video, we will see how to connect to private subnet instances from our local on-premise environment by deploying VPN. So I'm going to use OpenVPN to deploy, and we will see that in another video. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.